Well, as I look out my window here, we're snowing where I am, and hopefully that's not coming your way. Coach Pooch is joining us, Coach Mike Perniciaro from Indiana State in his sixth year with the Sycamores. And Coach, we were just talking about you have a game with Illinois coming up here on Wednesday, and hopefully I'm not sending any bad weather your way, but talk a little bit about the season and how the weather's was good starting out, but now we're kind of hitting the skids a little bit.
Well, it's been a challenge with the weather, that's for sure. We've lost a few games to the weather in the preseason, and a couple weekends ago, our series with Northern Iowa got kind of snowed out as well up there in Cedar Falls. So, but nothing you can do about it, and our kids we're kind of used to it. And you kind of get adapted to it. And sometimes it's freezing cold, but you're out there playing. And sometimes, past weekend, it was 75 and very nice here at Terre Haute. So, hopefully we get to play tomorrow over in Champaign and get the games in, and we go down to Murray on the weekend.
Well, before we kind of dig into this season, let's talk a little bit about the end of last season. You guys made a great run through the conference tournament, 4 games in 4 days to get to that championship game, and had to knock off the number 1 seed. So talk a little bit about that journey and that experience as you made your way through that bracket.
Well, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of, we go in as the 5 seed. So we had to knock off Murray State, as a matter of fact. And I think we went 10 innings with them and won a 1-run game. Then we faced Northern Iowa, who was the 1 seed, and we beat them 1-0 on a squeeze play. And those were fun games. I'm sure they were fun to watch. They were not fun to coach in, I can tell you that, because every pitch was the game was on the line. It seemed like on every inning and every pitch. And then we get to the championship game, and Southern Illinois, beat us pretty handily, and they earned it. And but for our program to make a run and kind of, I wouldn't say validate, but kind of prove ourselves, that was a good thing for our program. And, going into this year, we kind of talked about, hey, we're not trying to live up to last year. This is a brand new team, brand new identity. And I think sometimes teams can fall into that. We're supposed to be here, and be at the top of the conference. And obviously, as coaches, that's what you want to coach. And we want to be competitive. We want to challenge for the conference championship. But at the same time, we said, hey, this is, there's no pressure on us. We don't want to put pressure on ourselves because, teams don't really, most teams don't handle that pressure very well. We're saying, hey, we have to win. We have to win. So our goal this year was, hey, we want to be in the top 4 in the conference when it's all said and done. And then when the conference tournament rolls around in the middle of May, we'll go on another run. And, this year's been kind of a challenge. We've been very inconsistent, I'll say. Some games we look really, really good. And there's some games where we've gone out and not looked good. And part of that is youth. We've got 4 seniors that are pretty much starting on a consistent basis. But then we'll have 3, 4, maybe 5 that weren't in our lineup last year. And so that's where our inconsistency has been, where our youth has shown at times. This is part of development. And, by this time, hopefully we've kind of got the kinks out. And, this back half of the season, we're looking forward to the back half, especially in the conference of kind of righting the ship and getting on a roll.
Well, talk about those seniors. I mean, you 4 seniors, I think, is what you said. And how have they kind of taken this freshman class under their wing and helped them get settled into the college game?
Well, and that's the big thing we talked about in the fall with our seniors. Isabella Henning, Danielle Henning, Abby Chips, and Kennedy Shade. 4, I call them our core 4. And they're talented. They've played a lot of games. They've been starters for the past 2 or 3 years, some of them. And I told them the challenge is for them to kind of take those freshmen in and say, hey, this is how things work at the college level. Kind of they're great leaders by example. A couple of them are very vocal. And so they've kind of led the way for our freshmen, and we had a couple transfers as well. So we've told them, you guys have to take them under their wing and guide them the right way. And they've done a really good job at that. So I've been proud of those four for doing that.
Talk a little bit about the Henning sisters. I mean, they have been a staple in your lineup for quite a few years and have always produced. Talk a little bit about how they have progressed throughout their career and what they bring to the team.
Well, they're completely different. Obviously, Isabella is a lefty hitter, lefty thrower. She came in. I remember this very vividly from her freshman year. Our beginning of the season meeting, she came in and says, I'm going to be the starting first baseman. And we had a junior or senior who was in that spot. And I said, good, I want you to try and take that spot. And from the first weekend on, she has taken that spot and earned it. Was the Valley Freshman of the Year as a freshman. And, and Danielle is different. Danielle's a righty. Danielle came in as a type of utility player. And Danny didn't play very much her first year. And then as a sophomore, she played a little bit. And then last year as a junior, she was our starting left fielder, made second team all and did a tremendous job. So they are great kids. Just, you couldn't ask for better teammates or better players in your program. And they've done a really good job. And at the end of the year, we're really going to miss those two.
Yeah, and Abby Chips has kind of been your primary base stealer, and I apologize for my dog barking in the background. He wanted to be heard on this interview, I guess. I don't know. I think he's a big fan of yours. So
he apparently is. He pooch, yeah.
There he is, a pooch, yeah.
That's right.
I love it. But talk a little bit about Abby Chips as well. I mean, she's your base stealer.
She is, and she's had been our 9 hitter in the lineup. She's been there for 2 years or so. And this year we've moved her up. Olivia Patton, our leadoff hitter from last year, she graduated. So I told Chips, I said, well, you're going to move into that leadoff spot. And of course, she did that in travel ball and in high school, but it's different. And she's done a really nice job in that leadoff spot, kind of setting the table and stealing bases. I think she got 9 or 10 on the season. And she's hitting in the low 300s. And she's doing a really good job of just setting the table for the middle of our lineup to kind of drive her in and score runs. So been really pleased with Chips in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, and talk about, and I'm going to leave and I'm going to go shut a door, but I want you to talk about one of your freshmen, Abby Robakowski. I mean, she has really stepped up and made an impact on your team.
He has, and Robo's been really a consistent hitter. She's been in anywhere from our 3 spot to our 5 spot in the batting order. Just a hitter, got good power. She actually was one of the leaders in the state of Indiana in home runs as a senior last year. She led the state with 24 home runs. So she's got really good pop, and she's been at third base pretty consistently and has played really good defense as well. So Abby's done a really nice job for us. And sometimes you don't know how your freshmen are going to come in, if they're going to rise to the occasion or if they're going to kind of, sometimes they don't. But Robakowski's done a really nice job for us.
Well, and I was reading a little bit, Haley Griffin in the circle, no hitter earlier this season. Talk about her stuff and what she brings to that pitching mound.
Well, and Haley's been really good. She's gotten better over the years. She's now a junior, and she's just very level-headed. We'll put her in some crazy, stressful situations, and she is very level-headed and very calm out there, at least on the outside. On the inside, her heart might be going like crazy, but on the outside, she's got a great presence. She doesn't get rattled, and she just she doesn't blow people away. She gets a lot of soft contact, a lot of pop-ups. She changes speeds well and has a good rise ball. And she just gets a lot of, you see hitters on the opposing team get frustrated when they face her sometimes, because again, she's not flowing, 65, 68 miles an hour. She's letting you hit it, and it's hard to hit.
Yeah, and that looking at your fielding percentage, number 2 in the Valley, and so that's got to help with the defense to have a pitcher like that and have that defense behind you. So, anything you guys do differently defensively, or is it just that you have that good pitching up front?
I think the biggest thing is our pitchers are doing a good job keeping the ball in the park. And, we've got some athletes on the field. Our outfield's pretty quick. They can cover a lot of ground. And then we've got senior at first, senior at second, senior at short. So they've been through the battles. And mistakes are going to happen. We always talk about, hey, we're going to make errors. But the fact that you can't compound an error with another error, that's going to lead to big innings. And so our upperclassmen on the infield are able to kind of relax and say, hey, just because you made a mistake, give me the next ball. We want the next one. We'll make the next play for you. Because nobody's going to be perfect, and we don't expect that or demand that, but we do want to, make the routine plays pretty, often. And, we've also had, last year we had a senior catcher who probably caught 90% of our games. And so she graduated. So now we've got 2 or 3 behind the plate that have, gotten time in there. And, that's obviously a leadership position behind the plate. And they've done a good job. We've got a freshman, Haley Webb, who's been back there. Great arm. She shuts down the run game well. We've got a lefty who you don't see very often catching. Lucy Kapelka has done a good job back there. Brings a big bat into the lineup. And then we've got a junior, Randy Joe Pryor, who's a solid defender as well. So, that catching part is big, as you know.
Yeah, that's always a key position for everyone. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us today. I'm hoping I don't send the snow your way, and hopefully get a chance to take on Illinois and then head into Murray State over the weekend. So
good luck on that snow. Keep it over there.
Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can keep it over here. And I'm again sorry for the pooch, but obviously, as you had said, he's a big fan of yours. So
it's all good.
Maybe we'll bring him to the conference tournament.
That sounds good to me, Laura. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Coach.